Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at what we spend our money on as a country, you'll understand how comical and embarrassing this spy balloon fiasco has been thus far. If you look, the the intelligence budget, okay? The Director of National Intelligence, the DNI.gov website, in a press release, stated that the National Intelligence Program, and that is just for the Department of National Intelligence, the Director of National Intelligence is disclosing the aggregate amount of $67.1 billion in requested appropriations for the fiscal year. The DNI discloses this amount consistent with Section 601 of the Implementing and Recommendations. Okay, so beyond the disclosure of this top-line number, there will be no other disclosures of currently classified budget information. The only exception to the foregoing are for unclassified appropriations. So the intelligence agencies have spent far more than $67 billion. Why is that important? It's important because you're spending over $70 to $80 billion going after Trump. Here you have a Newsweek article. Trump was named in 1,200 Homeland Security reports before 2020. Okay. Yet we had the Doha Agreement. We had the Abraham Accords. First president to step foot in North Korea. Tariffs that Biden kept. Tax cuts that Democrats and Biden kept also. They kept the tax cuts. Oh, we don't like the tax. Oh, yeah, you like the tax cuts. You didn't reverse Trump's tax cuts, nor did you touch his tariffs. Okay, yet you were against them. Against the country that has the balloon flying above us. We spent 67, let's just say, really it's about probably closer to $100 billion of the 600. That's not even, I don't know if that's included within the $618 billion I talked about in the segment prior to this one, the defense budget. I believe it is. But in terms of intelligence, you're spending well over $70 billion. Because it's the 67 is just for the unclassified. They're not telling us what the unclassified budget is, and I don't know why that they're not able to disclose that. And you can't predict a balloon flying above, and then the rebuttal is, oh, well, so what? They have satellites. This is no big deal. Yeah, well, then why have they decided to use the balloon? That's what they said with the uranium deal under President Obama with Bill and Hillary's foundation. Oh, it's just a commodity. Well, then why do we have an oil embargo with Moscow if it's just a commodity? Whenever they get caught in the act, they're so good at defending the indefensible. And like I say, God bless you, Democrat, Republican. I'm not into tribalism. I'm voting for Trump because we didn't have this nonsense with Trump. We had a complete meltdown of all the maniacs who have been in charge. We're 90 seconds to midnight. 90 seconds to midnight. We're closer than we've ever been to the end of everything. And this is a brazen, overt disregard for U.S. sovereignty. Again, Trump is the type of person to remove America, bring home Americans. And Biden completely botched that withdrawal, but he was forced to. It was a May 1st, 2021 withdrawal. May 1st, 2021 withdrawal. And, of course, Democrats went past that date, and those 13 Americans, those over 100 Afghans should be alive today. But it's like, you look, ladies and gentlemen, and you look, and it's like, when you have $67 billion for an intelligence budget, and you lack the intelligence, or you lack the information, the intel, the ability to predict, the ability to act on the unforeseen. So there should have been a scenario immediately. What do we do? These intel agencies should have I mean, there's a good one called the National Geospatial Agency. That's an intel agency. We should have had a clear response, not Atlantic articles on why we can't shoot it down and destroy it. But you've spent $67 billion against Trump with a Mueller probe and intelligence gathering and all of this nonsense where we know all of these, intel officials go on CNBC and MSNBC, and they pontificate and they preach about how Trump is a menace to national security. This is a problem to national security. It doesn't matter if they have satellites. They're using that balloon for a purpose. That's why they're using the balloon. If they didn't want to use the balloon, they could have used satellites. They would have done so. Hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. I might deviate a little, so it could be 8:30 or 11:30. So then this is the 11:45 segment. But around 8 a.m. and around 11 a.m. every day, forever on this channel, we will have videos. Go to hagoodman.com to read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, and other publications. And ladies and gentlemen, to my Patreons, thank you. I cannot thank you enough. Ladies and gentlemen. Also, the super thanks is below next to the like and the share buttons. You've been wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your support. And again, this is entirely viewer funded. So thank you so very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump is named in 1,200 Homeland reports. Comey, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, all of these people, we shouldn't even really know who they are. We never really knew. The average American or people into politics in the U.S. didn't really talk about intel chiefs. Maybe here and there, yes, but not to the extent. And especially not, the lower level individuals. Nobody knew an FBI attorney, for example, Kevin Kleinsmith. That type of individual nobody would know, who pleaded guilty to falsifying records just to go after Trump. And he pleaded guilty to that. So it's unbelievable. It's like the entire planet knows the U.S. government despised Trump. And it's funny because they're like, oh, his hand-picked attorney general. Sessions was an abomination, the worst attorney general of all time. He might as well have not had that position filled with Sessions. It would have been better off had he not had an attorney general, Trump. Then you had Bill Barr, who was better, but never really backed Trump. But Eric Holder was held in contempt of Congress for defending President Obama. And Garland with Biden, what happens is they're like, oh, look, we're objective. Comey is investigating Hillary. No. The Comey letter was a failed cover-up. And so what happened was there was so much classified data flying around. He had said, look, I have the goods on you, wrote the letter. Then that really swung 2016. There wasn't nothing, the DNC emails, the Kremlin, and nothing had anything to do with 2016 other than Comey's letter. She very well could have won, but I said Clinton would lose because something like that, was the Honorable James Comey was going to take place. And you could see him talk about the fact that Clinton broke laws on the short on this channel. By the way, I do think Hillary Clinton will be the 24 nominee for the Democrats. But anyway, you talk about this classified data, Mar-a-Lago, the Kremlin, they want Trump. There's no evidence at all. The Democrats came in with a Russian reset. And then President Obama said, the 80s want their foreign policy back in 2012. So they just created this nonsense. What they've done with the DNC emails or with the 51 intel agents or chiefs, former chiefs, saying that the Hunter laptop story was a propaganda campaign by another country. What they've done is they've repackaged, rebranded, rebranded and marketed national security as domestic political grievances, or going after Trump because you don't like him, so he's a big menace to national security. Meanwhile, 67 billion, 70 billion, and you don't know what to do with a spy balloon that's just hovering over the U.S., unmanned. So what would be the problem in just completely destroying it? Because they would have done that in 2 seconds if we did that. If we just had a spy balloon fly above China or Russia or any country. Okay? So, again, they're deriving intelligence from this. They're utilizing it because this is a better option than the satellites they have. They're lying about why they're doing it, and we're lying about why we don't destroy it. It's complete ineptitude, incompetence, and you're talking about a complete failure. This is not... Destroying that balloon is not a militant, hawkish response. It's just basic logic. It's unmanned. Trump was the anti-war candidate and the antithesis of Lincoln Project foreign policy and never any military conflict. It was a moral imperative to vote for Trump. Now you have an invasion in Europe and a balloon flying above the country, inflation through the roof, crime everywhere. It's like, be careful what you wish for, but see, again, Democrats don't care. As long as they have the political power, they don't really care. FTX money. I mean, media, could you imagine if Trump had a Ponzi scheme funneling hundreds of millions of dollars, $1 billion, according to Elon Musk, into the Republican Party? They would never stop. Now you hardly read about Sam Bankman-Fried. And what he did was the same thing, in some ways, could be called worse than Madoff. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel. Be here for the live stream today, everybody. We are going to talk about all this during the live